Hello and welcome to some more Star Citizen. How does Star Citizen StarEngine compare to Unreal Engine 5? What's been happening over the last week you might have missed in the wonderful world of Star Citizen? We've got some juicy news, recaps, and dev responses for you today. Last week's Inside Star Citizen showed off the Rastar tool, which has evolved since it was shown at last year's CitizenCon. It's the tool that places outposts and structures around planets and has a lot more things it can do now and more pieces that it can place. Eventually, Rastar will be used in some form by players to build bases, but it's going to evolve in between now and then, and obviously when it's actually a base building tool, it will have a different player-facing UI. The cargo refactor was also shown off in Inside Star Citizen for 3.18. It's mainly about the physicalization of the commodity cargo and being able to move one SCU-sized boxes with tractor beams, as well as an overhaul of the trade terminals, making trading, purchasing, selling a lot more easy at a glance. Ships that explode will have a chance to leave some of their cargo behind in one SCU boxes for that commodity cargo, so that should actually be a lot of a less of a strain on servers and make sort of looting and that sort of stuff, or recovering from a hauling mission gone bad, as it were, a lot easier to deal with. Eventually, there will be proper hauling missions, times and costs associated with the loading and unloading, and a lot more coming with cargo gameplay. There wasn't a Star Citizen live last week, as Disco Lando called in sick. The 2952 Intergalactic Aerospace Expo is in less than 2 weeks. It runs from Friday the 18th to the 30th of November. It's going to be great. It's an expo. It's a free fly. You can go there and rent a load of ships. You can play Star Citizen for free. There's going to be new ships on sale. All the ships that have previously been on sale, pretty much, are going to be available to purchase at some point throughout the expo. So jump into Star Citizen during then. There's lots of silly things going on. There'll be skits and lots of cool stuff and ship updates, that sort of jazz. The monthly reports are out, and we've got videos on Squadron 42, Star Citizen's Pacific Universe, as well as AI updates on our channel. Check them out. This week's sneak peek appears to be of some server or blade components that will be important to our ships in the future. So we'll be able to use CPU or AI blades to sort of semi-automate turrets and give our ships more abilities, but we only have a certain amount of slots per ship to have these additional blade modules. There are a variety of dev responses from Sylvan CIG on Spectrum that I want to go through. Basically, he answers some questions on the Gen 12 renderer, Vulkan, and engine related questions. So let's talk about them. Future CPU thread count usage was a thread that I saw. How many cores will Star Citizen scale to in the future is basically the question. Sylvan CIG responds, Star Citizen already uses as much cores as it gets. We do have lots of stuff running in the background. This is always an ongoing effort to improve, though. As people pointed out, the main and render thread are the two limiting factors here, and at the moment anyway, if they can't process their workload fast enough, the whole game crawls, essentially. That is why optimizing the main and render thread is so important. The render thread won't be an issue anymore once everything runs in Gen 12 and is optimized. Future plans involve getting rid of it entirely and recording all GPU commands in parallel. This means the more we get Gen 12 done, the more you will be limited by the main thread only, unless you are GPU bound, of course. We're always striving to parallelize work from the main thread as much as possible. Having as much cores as possible will greatly benefit you for Star Citizen in the future, though. Another thread for you, Gen 12 update was pretty spectacular, but Vulkan a little bit fuzzy. How close are we to Vulkan integration is basically the crux of the post here. Again, Sylvan responds, it's too early to tell. We simply don't know either. First, we need to finish Gen 12 completely and turn on something called renderer graph, which allows us to fully reorder and optimize past submission at runtime and is absolutely crucial for Vulkan. We don't want to set false expectations, but be sure, once we know more, we will give you an update. Just know that Vulkan is coming along nicely, and we'll be doing our best to bring it to you ASAP. There was a follow-up here. How many cores will Vulkan utilize? Will we get diminishing returns based on the sort of amount of cores that it uses? If it goes like, it scales up to 30, is it sort of very minimally better than having 12? Sylvan again responds, that's impossible to say without measuring. Once we get there, be sure we will give you an update, but in general, Star Citizen uses all cores what it can get already. It's just that your game is usually bottlenecked by either the main or render thread, which can't just fill all the other cores with continuous work. Another thread, and this is a good one because I think a lot of people ask this sort of question. So StarEngine. How does StarEngine, Star Citizen's sort of custom Lumberyard engine now, it's sort of evolved, Lumberyard Engine evolved, CryEngine, how does that compare to Unreal Engine 5? Sylvan CIG, again, responds, he's a very respondy boy. You can't really compare StarEngine to any other engine at this point in time anymore. Feature-wise, sure, but that is really surface level. Pretty much every engine nowadays has PBR, physics, scripting, skeletal animations, and. Personally, I think an engine is usually superior to others due to excellent documentations and tutorials. Unity is the best proof of that. Unreal Engine 5, however, might have gained a technological advancement with Lumen and Nanite. However, to this day, we haven't seen it in a big commercial shipped game. I'm still skeptical that it will work so much better than traditional LOD-based rendering. Only time will tell here. Years of developing and having many of the original engine developers working at CIG StarEngine already has become its own thing. We have our own toolsets, our own technologies, and very unique and customized code, which we can freely change whatever suits our needs. So I think that's really interesting because, yeah, StarEngine is its own beast, and it is the engine that will allow Star Citizen to be what Chris Roberts sort of envisioned. And that's the sort of thing that we're after, really, isn't it? So we want Star Citizen to be its sort of best MMO self, and it needed a custom engine to do that effectively. Even if they'd gone for Unreal Engine 5, they would have customized it heavily along the same sort of routes that they've gone with the StarEngine anyway. So, rain, thunderstorms, snow. What are the plans for weather? Sylvan CIG again responds, it's too early to give a meaningful answer to this question. Yes, weather effects are planned, but we haven't ironed out the details yet, and Caston, our technical director, is still working on atmospheric clouds. I'm hoping once he's done with that, we can look at this. Can't wait to see weather effects on planets too. Our last response is to a thread, what the hell is this? Where a user questioned why the community hub basically forces you to accept cookies and you couldn't decline non-essential ones. Ulf responded, as the hub interacts with third-party services, we must make you aware of this due to GDPR compliance. This cookie policy isn't CIG specific at all. So there was a follow-up basically stating that actually it looks like it's a YouTube thing because YouTube are embedding ads on videos that are integrated into the hub and all that sort of jazz. And obviously it's the whatever YouTube want to show on their videos that are then integrated there. So they had to show a all-encompassing cookies are used here sort of disclaimer. Boom! That's it for Star Citizen's news recap and dev responses today for you. But tell me what you think. Are you excited for the Gen 12 renderer stuff coming to Alpha 3.18? Are you looking forward to the cargo refactor? Or do you think it's actually pretty minor at this stage and it's meh? Are you hyped for the 2952 Intergalactic Aerospace Expo? Whatever your thoughts, I'd love to hear from you in the comments below.
Hello, I'm Winston Churchill, and I use NordVPN to defend the Internet Empire. We will fight the ants on the beaches. We shall fight on the Internet. We shall fight the trackers and the malware. Whether we want to watch Netflix for another country or have greater accessibility to the Internet, we will defend our island home. At any rate, that is what we're programmed to do.
Thanks, Winston Churchill. What? What do you mean, Tin? That wasn't Winston Churchill? Point still stands. Go to nordvpn.com/BoredGamer to get yourself discounted NordVPN or use the links below. Every month we have a ship giveaway. For November, we're giving away a Crusader Spirit C1. It's a fantastic looking multi-role ship that can fit a vehicle in the back or a load of cargo, and it looks really cool. It's got loads of forward-facing weaponry and a tractor beam. As it's a concept ship though, the winner will have a Cutlass back in the meantime as a loaner. It comes with access to the game and lifetime insurance too, so bam! Even if you don't have Star Citizen stuff yet, you can get straight into the game with this. It's all you need. Just comment on any of my videos this month to be in for a chance of winning. A massive thank you to everyone that has used the join button under my videos to become a channel member and my Patreons. You guys are awesome. And it really does help the channel. Please consider becoming one of those lovely people too. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the verse.